One can always argue that men like Herbert Chitepo, Edgar Tekere, Dabaningi Stole, Joshua Nkomo, and guys of that stature were men who were created under the Rhodesian system. In other words, they are products of Rhodesia. These men were carefully curated or created by that particular system. The way that life was conducted during that era was such that men of that stature and of that quality were able to emerge. Today it is obvious that in Zimbabwe there is a problem, a shortage of such men who are perfect for the time that we are currently in. The men of today lack the necessary courage for the times that we're in. Now, this doesn't mean that there are no men of courage or intelligence. Such men are there, but they are far from each other. It is hard to pinpoint any such man. So it is clear that the Zimbabwean system that came into effect in 1980 has not been able to create the necessary men. It has not been able to come up with men of that sort of quality that Herbert Chitepo and these other guys possessed. The Zimbabwean system has managed, though, to produce men who are fearful, men who lack strong moral character, men who don't believe in anything, who don't stand for anything that is real. They are spectators of other men, of other cultures, but they don't have that strong sense of self that allows them to have something in their own society that they can actually stand for and be able to fight for. If you asked the average man in Zimbabwe what his core beliefs are as far as his country is concerned, he probably doesn't even have any beliefs of his own. He just parrots what's been told to him by the system, by the government, by other men. He has no ideas of his own that he would like to extend to the world and share with his people. He is more than prepared to compete with his fellow brothers rather than stand and transform his people. He's out to compete, not to transform. So we don't have the transformative man that we had in Chitepo's time. We don't have men who want to transform society in the fashion that Joshua Nkomo would have wanted to. We don't have men like Rex Nongo who will go out there and just fight for some cause because they believe in it. Such men don't exist. Men who will put their lives on the line, they don't exist anymore. We have men who put their lives on the line maybe for money. They will dig trenches 200 meters into the ground, or however far they have to go, kilometers in the ground. They will dig, they'll risk their lives to make some cash. There's a spiritual death in the people. They have no depth enough to see something greater for their people. They don't have it in them to see that far. They only think of what they're going to put on their table. They think of the money that they're going to put in their pocket. Those are the men that Zimbabwe has produced. And that's sad to have to face that reality, that men of courage and valor are becoming extinct. Thoughtful men, considerate men, loving men, men who will do anything for their people, or at least for a cause. So this brings me to the question, what kind of man is necessary for Zimbabwe today? What kind of man must we find to be necessary for the growth and extension of our people here in Zimbabwe? What kind of man is needed in order for the people to survive this century that we're currently in? What are the qualities of that man? Now, obviously, first and foremost, that man has to be a man of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. So you're going to have fears as a man, but you are going to move and act in spite of those fears. You don't allow those fears to stop you from doing what it is that you have got to do. So that man has to be a man of courage who's willing to do what is necessary and what needs to be done, who is willing to sacrifice all of those little pleasures that other men believe are so necessary for their lives. See, the courageous man has to be prepared to let certain things go in order for things to move within our society. It's going to take courage. So it's going to take a man who possesses that courage. So as much as he may think and see the dangers in what he needs to do, he will find ways to act and overcome those dangers. So he's going to use his intelligence. He has to be a man of intelligence, not just ordinary intelligence, but high intelligence. He has to be able to work out a way through difficult situations. Whatever is in front of him, he has to be able to maneuver his way through all obstacles. He has to be able to do that. And intelligence is never to be measured by how much money one has, because a lot of people falsely believe that intelligence is measured by the amount of money that one has in his account. But that's garbage. You have many idiots out there who are millionaires, believe it or not. Money is all about where you are placed in a situation or a position through which money passes. That's all it takes to have money. It's just a matter of being properly positioned. That's all. Somebody else can position an idiot where money is, and that idiot who'll get that money, he'll collect. So a man of intelligence is one who is able to find solutions needed by the people. And sometimes those solutions require sacrifice. They require the people to be courageous. They require the people to make the necessary sacrifices in order for them to be able to overcome those challenges. So the people have to be motivated. The man himself, the man that is necessary and that is needed within society, within our society today, has to be a motivated man, because then he can motivate others. He has to be motivated. He has to have drive. Now, having drive, we're not talking about having insane ambitions of being a billionaire and things like that. Because whenever you talk about drive, people always think, oh, drive means, you want to be out there. No, he has to be driven to follow his purpose. He has to be driven to fulfill his goals in life. And if his purpose is to bring his people to higher understanding, if his purpose is to transform the livelihood and the lives of his people, then that's his purpose. He has to wake up in the morning and be motivated to move toward his goal of transforming the lives of others around him, which means he has to be selfless. Because if he's not selfless and he thinks of himself before others, he's not going to be able to achieve what he has to achieve. He won't be able to achieve his purpose. Therefore, he won't be the necessary man in this country. Because the necessary man is one who is selfless. A man who's not selfless is not necessary in Zimbabwe right now. He's not the man that is needed in this country. It is the selfless man who's going to be putting those he loves first before himself. That is the selfless man. So he has to be selfless. The necessary man, the man that is needed in the time that we're in right now, has to be a selfless man. He has to be a loving man. A man that can love unconditionally. So we're not talking about the everyday conventional love. Oh, I love you, baby. That kind of love. No, it has to go beyond that. It has to be an unconditional love for the people. It's not that he's going out there loving everybody, but it's just knowing that of those that he is leading, he must love unconditionally. You see, so you can't just love blindly. Loving blindly is different from loving unconditionally. Loving blindly is something else. It's just walking around hugging trees and saying, I just love. No, unconditionally is knowing who your people are and loving them as you should, being the one who leads those people. Love those people unconditionally. That doesn't mean that you have no sense of justice. You can still love unconditionally, but also understand that being just is necessary. So he must be a just man. He must have a respect for justice. He must have a respect for wisdom, which is necessary in administering justice. And he must be a wise man. The wise man is necessary in this country. And unfortunately, we are living in a time where wisdom is not respected. Intelligence is not respected. Courage is not respected. It is looked down upon as foolishness. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Unkind, cruel people. That's who the people love now. Believe it or not, because those are the successful people. Because they say, oh, he's so shrewd. Being shrewd is not a bad thing. As long as it's for the right reasons, first of all. And as long as that shrewdness is not at the disadvantage of your people. As long as it's not at the expense of people that you are supposed to be leading, people that you are supposed to be taking to a better place and whose lives you're supposed to be transforming. Being some politician who lies to the people. Liars are respected as being politically smart. Can you believe that? This devilish, satanic world that we're living in. It's hard to believe that people have gone that low. So the man that is necessary in Zimbabwe right now is a man that's hard to find. It is a rare man. It is a rare man because the system has had problems creating such a man. So such a man has not been created by the system. Such a man is a gift from God. I know those men do exist among us. I know that. Men of courage, men of wisdom, men of intelligence, men who love their people, men who are considerate, affectionate. They do exist among us. The only question is, do we understand their value in the time that we're in? Or is it something that we take for granted? Yeah, I want to know what you think about the man who is necessary and any other qualities that you might have in mind that maybe I didn't think about in this particular video. If you feel that there are other qualities that we can add and that we can find within ourselves and bring forward for our people, please do share. Because we've been suppressed. Many of these kinds of men and women have been suppressed. Therefore, they are now a rarity. They are now rare. You don't get to see them. You don't get to truly experience them. You only experience a fake version of these types of men. You experience a version that has been curated by the government to warp your perception of what the necessary man should look like. This is why now we have to come back to reality and start to build up this man, or bring out these men and women. And when I say men, sometimes I just mean man, and it's just like saying mankind. We mean everybody. It includes everybody. So it's not a sexist thing when we talk about the man. It's just to simplify what we're talking about. So yeah, I'd love your feedback. Your feedback will be appreciated. A lot of people are mute. They don't want to say nothing. It's not even about my channel. It's about what's happening in our country. And if we're talking about our country and believing that we could do something about, see, that takes someone who's actually very rare to actually believe that they can make a difference. Because a lot of people don't actually think they even matter. So it's quite rare to actually come across people who actually realize that we are the change that we wish to see in the world. Very few people are the embodiment of that. Very few people stand as a testimony to prove that they actually believe that they are those people that this country needs. Very few people have that mindset. So when you see it, it'll do you good to appreciate it, because it means you appreciate yourself. Because the fact that you can see that in other people means that you yourself are a rare breed, because rare recognizes rare. It'll be lovely to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening to this point. I appreciate you. Peace.